Italian fashion house Prada has grown from a local bag-making workshop to a true fashion empire in its more than 100-year history. It now makes clothes, shoes, accessories, perfumes, and it is considered one of the most luxurious and elegant brands in the world. It is adored by celebrities, its outfits shine on red carpets, and even the harsh editor of American Vogue, Anna Wintour, flies in for the sake of Prada shows in Milan. The fashion house owes its striking success to women from the Prada family. It would seem that this is strange, but there is nothing to worry about if you don't know that the founder of the brand, Mario Prada, was a staunch conservative, considered women stupid entrepreneurs, and categorically forbade ladies from his family from doing business. However, the story played a low-down trick with Mario, and his life's work blossomed thanks to his daughter, and especially his granddaughter. First things first. The fashion house Prada appeared in 1913 in Milan and was first called Fratelli Prada, which means Prada Brothers in Italian. The workshop was engaged in sewing bags and suitcases, and its target audience was rich people. The artisan Mario Prada was the man in charge of everything, and his brother Martino was his assistant. This is how the name appeared. Mario initially focused on VIP customers and relied on quality and exclusivity. When creating bags, the businessman used rare and expensive materials. For example, the skin of walruses and pythons, the shell of turtles, semi-precious stones, and rare species of wood. The public appreciated this, and the Prada store in Milan became a place of attraction for the rich. In the mid-1950s, Mario Prada retired. His son was indifferent to the family business, but his daughter Louise, on the contrary, was ready to take charge, and avid conservative Mario, who has spent a lifetime denying women's ability to do anything other than household, has had to reconsider his views on life. After his death in 1958, Louise became the brand manager. She continued her father's tradition. The brand still produced expensive and beautiful suitcases and bags for a rich and demanding audience. Things were going great, and under the new mistress, they learned about the brand abroad. This continued until the 1970s, but then the situation changed. Maneuverable suitcases on wheels appeared on sale. They were more convenient and easier to manage, and against their background, chic but bulky Prada bags seemed, although beautiful, but hopelessly outdated. There were noticeably fewer customers, the company suffered losses. It was obvious to everyone that the brand was in desperate need of change. But Louise no longer had the strength to reform. Fortunately for world fashion, Mario Prada's granddaughter Miuccia had enough of them. She took the helm of the family business in 1978. At that time, Miuccia was 29 years old. She managed to get an education in the field of political science, studied at a mime school, and watched all the films of Michelangelo Antonioni, outfits from which will then be quoted many times in Prada clothing collections. Miuccia was also a communist and feminist, determined to give a fight to fashion stereotypes and a new start to the family business. It is with her name that the Prada, which we know today and whose philosophy is admired by millions of connoisseurs around the world, is associated. However, Miuccia, who since childhood was a rebel, at first did not want to lead the family business at all. "I thought making bags, shoes or dresses was the worst way to spend your life," she shared with a journalist for the Evening Standard newspaper.
Women business was for me the worst possible idea. I wanted to do anything possible except fashion, but at the end I think I liked fashion.
And although, according to Miuccia, it was very inappropriate for feminists of the 70s to talk about fashion, she loved it, so she took that step. Her meeting with Patrizio Bertelli, who owned a leather goods workshop in Tuscany, also had great influence. The young people had an affair, which became one of the strongest and most fruitful creative and family unions in fashion history. It was Bertelli who helped Miuccia reform the brand. He was responsible for the financial and production side of the issue, while she was responsible for design and creativity. The first thing Miuccia did as a company executive was hire fashion designers to breathe a whiff of fresh air into Prada's collections. Already in the early 1980s, practical women's backpacks made of black nylon fabric with the famous triangular logo went on sale. It wasn't too conspicuous, nor were the logos on subsequent Prada models. According to the owner of the brand, noticeable logos provoke snobbery, and Miuccia was sympathetic to the philosophy of reverse statusness. Compared to the bulky Prada bags of years past, it was something new, and the audience responded. Backpacks have become hits. However, this was not enough. In order to save the brand, new bag models were not enough. The brand needed whole new directions. Therefore, Miuccia worked vigorously to create the first collection of shoes and clothes. And in an attempt to create something new, she invariably remembered the quality. That is why she fundamentally refused to transfer production to Asia, as many other brands did. The first collection of Prada shoes appeared in the early 1980s, and the first line of finished clothes appeared in 1989. And it was the great success that Miuccia Prada again achieved due to her originality and desire to break the established laws of the fashion industry. The first models of women's clothing were strict, monochrome, with clean lines and in clean colors, mainly in black, white, and beige. This significantly distinguished clothing from other collections of the time, dominated by aggressive sexuality, variance, and pretentiousness. The audience, looking for elegance and restraint, immediately drew attention to Prada clothes. And, as they say in the fashion world, if you one day start a relationship with Prada, it will last forever. Miuccia has always had her own take on displays of sexuality in clothes. Female sexuality is absolutely not something that stereotypes impose on us. I tell my female employees, who come in the morning on heels and with their bellies open, the more sexy you try to look, the less sex you have. It's terrible, right? A Prada executive shares life wisdom. Nevertheless, Miuccia understood that the things she produces do not suit the young audience at all in price and design, and she wanted to cover this segment as well. Therefore, in the early 1990s, a subsidiary brand Miu Miu appeared in Prada, deliberately romantic clothes for young women. Mostly, the dresses were of bright colors. This brand has become a kind of alter ego for the lover of the witty, shocking Miuccia. Even the name Miu Miu refers to her childhood nickname. In these collections, Miuccia is able to take her soul away and allow what the austere and elegant canonic Prada is not supposed to do. A similar story happened with sunglasses. With their non-standard design, they are also knocked out of the general style of the brand. For bulky frames of bright colors, they were even nicknamed Ugly Prada, and at first perceived with a cold reception, and sometime later with delight. Prada's distinctive style and categorical reluctance to follow the lead of mass fashion trends made fans of the brand the most discerning celebrity fashionistas. Gwyneth Paltrow, Cameron Diaz, Salma Hayek, Emily Blunt, Michelle Williams, Rooney Mara, Adrian Brody, and other Hollywood and European stars love this brand's clothes. It is not surprising that many of them choose Prada as an outfit for the presentation of film awards. Anne Hathaway's Good Luck dress, which she wore to the Oscars in 2013, was widely known. It was a soft pink floor-length gown by Prada, and featured Anne taking the stage behind the first Oscar statuette of her career, for Best Supporting Role in a musical, Les Miserables. Curiously, the decision to choose a Prada dress was spontaneous. Anne, who was going to be at the Oscars in a Valentino dress, found out on the evening before the ceremony that another actress would appear in a similar outfit, and just a few hours before the start of the event decided to change plans. It is not known whether the choice of dress influenced the outcome of the evening, but the following year, significantly more artists appeared in the outfits from Prada at the Oscars. The owner of Prada has a very close connection with the cinema. She always said that films influenced her as an artist, no less than books. In her youth, she watched many Italian film classics, drew a sense of style from their paintings, and trained her supervision. In 1996, Prada House designed a wedding costume for Leonardo DiCaprio's character in the film Romeo and Juliet, and in 2006, the brand became known to the general public after the release of the film The Devil Wears Prada, starring Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep. Most of the outfits for their heroines were developed by fashion designers at the fashion house. For Wes Anderson's Hotel Grand Budapest, the brand created a vintage suitcase in the style of the 1930s, and for the film The Great Gatsby, 40 Art Deco outfits stylized as the 1920s era. The picture received an Oscar for the best costumes, and in one of the boutiques of the brand, Miuccia Prada even organized an exhibition dedicated to the film. who invite Hollywood celebrities to the men's collection in 2012. Then Gary Oldman, Willem Dafoe, Adrian Brody and other stars of the first magnitude walked along the runway as models. When asked how to be smart and well-dressed, I always say learn. Learn about fashion, cinema, art, and then get to know yourself, advises Miuccia Prada. The owner of the fashion house devoted a lot of time to self-study, and without hesitation, she talks about how she can walk for weeks in the same sweater, or vice versa, every day dress up in everything new and bright, like a holiday. Fashion imposes cliched beauty. I try to do everything to fix it, says Miuccia. As a feminist, she pays great attention to the protection of women's rights and periodically initiates social projects of her brand on this topic. In such a way, the Miu Miu brand has been releasing short films shot by women filmmakers since 2011 under the general name Women's Tales. Each of the episodes is dedicated to the lives of women in different countries. Prada's love of art is not limited to cinema. The brand's charity, Fondazione Prada, regularly supports projects in architecture and painting. Therefore, in 2014, the foundation transferred money from the Italian restoration laboratory Opificio della Pietra Giure to restore the painting of The Last Supper by Giorgio Vasari. The canvas suffered during the Florentine flood of 1966. In the same year, the foundation sponsored the restoration of the old church of San Donato in the city of Arezzo. The fashion house Prada, remaining one of the most influential luxury brands in the world, has long gone beyond the fashion industry. It creates social projects, supports the arts, and responds sensitively to events taking place in the world. According to Miuccia Prada, beauty without intelligence, firstly, is fresh, secondly, short-lived. That is probably why she prefers to create beauty with intelligence, eternal and bright.
Ah oui.